All right, GM, looks like we are loaded on everywhere. We are back with Benny. What is going on? You just got back from Startup Village. How are the vibes? Tell me, man, like how are things going out there? Is everyone talking about Solana and give me like the 411?
GM, my pleasure to be here. And thanks, Jorge, for being an awesome host as always. And yeah, as you said, I just came back, just arrived from Startup Village. I was actually in Super Team Balkan Startup Village. So it's happening in Split, Croatia. The vibes and the weather is just immaculate. Real Solana summer. And there's also the sea, so we can just relax there. And when it comes to startups and new ideas, there's a lot of relationships and connections being formed. While on the other hand, we also had a load of students coming up to lectures, just tapping into Solana, creating their first wallets, learning about self-custody and all of these important things. So it's really awesome. And now that I'm back, I'm super focused on Apex Budapest, which is happening next week here in the heart of Hungary in Budapest.
That is awesome to hear and kind of now getting FOMO for not going. So I might have to book my flight for the next one because yeah, I don't think I want to miss this. But tell me now, like you guys are building Solid. 30 seconds. Just give me a quick intro on what Solid is and what you're doing at Solid so we could go into like what are you doing while at Startup Village with Solid? Like, what is the message you are looking to send to everybody that you're there about what you're building and why it matters so much for you to be in real life?
Absolutely. So first off, what are we doing at Solid? We are building premium phone cases for Seeker, the new Solana mobile. Premium means both the materials that we use, and when it comes to designs, we are combining traditional art with the awesome crypto culture. And as a third perk to a simple phone case, we are also adding a soulbound token, basically a digital identifier, which has gotten more popular recently in Web3, which can entitle the phone case holders to some awesome rewards. And I'm happy to dive into it. And when it comes to in real life conferences and meetups, the message that I'm aiming to deliver is to spread awareness about how important it is to, first of all, protect your valuable devices, the seekers that are going to start shipping soon. And secondly, this technology that basically enables to have all of the phone case holders that may be all around the globe to actually be able to identify them digitally through the Solana blockchain. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and tell me like why it matters, right? Like, yeah, protecting my phone is definitely something. Hey, man, I do a really bad job at because I'm just like, I don't like the skins. But again, there is a reason for it, right? It's actually a very massive like industry itself of within the cell phone mobile business, and I think that let's just say this, right? We truly believe that what Toli is mentioning and saying about disrupting the current mobile industry and why it that vision I clearly very much see. But why Solid? Like what makes Solid right now like the powerhouse for being like the ultimate protection for a phone, and why build it, right?
Absolutely. So I'm a huge Solana mobile enjoyer and fan ever since the first device has been brought to life, Staga. And when it arrived, I was fortunate enough to get also a basic phone case with it, which was a transparent, very simple phone case. The reason why I liked it because I could put all of my favorite community stickers all over it. However, when it came to protection, unfortunately, there could have been a better job done when it comes to accessories. So it felt like there's definitely a missing puzzle piece where we could contribute. And we took a super bold bet with Solid because when we initially planned the idea, it wasn't even revealed that chapter 2 at the time was going to be Seeker and it's going to be a mobile phone. But the fact that we knew is that crypto is heading towards mobile. Everyone who already has a web app and has users there is aiming to make their mobile app or make their mobile app more seamless. The wallets, which are basically the entry points to Web3, are also focusing on mobile. So we knew that Solana Mobile obviously is also going to double down on this niche, also because people have been requesting a more affordable and slightly improved device. And they have done an awesome job with this. Like I've been able to see the Seeker, the demo device at the Accelerate conference, and it's a seamless, super awesome device. And when we were building Solid, we wanted to help represent, build a platform for both artists and communities, so they can physically build something where they can increase their fan base, deliver to collectors who are fan of their art, and at the same time, very simply, just have so much quality in terms of the material and the design that if you were to drop this valuable device, then it would, protect it at the highest levels.
Yeah, no, I think like, man, I think the art aspect of it, as I start thinking about it, like you're saying right now, and I go to like cell phone stores and I see like, again, different cases with different, brands behind them. I think like, I didn't think of it till right now that you're like, man, you could make sure we keep this within the community and really highlight the art, the brands within Web3 with our own, unique, again, mobile that we are all behind right now, but being able to really integrate those two communities, I really I didn't think of it till now, and I'm just like, oh my god, that is like a master business plan right there. Because like, let's just say it, right, we all talk about interoperability, we all talk about a lot of the things in Web3 of like what it can do and what we want it to do. And I think like this is it right here of like, imagine if I'm able to take brands, imagine if I'm able to work with, Monkey DAO, a Bonk, all these like projects that are here, builders that are iconic within the space, and bring them to something that, I think if you haven't reserved your phone, please go do so now. This is my 10-second chill for it. But like one thing is like, this is the way that you collaborate and bring more awareness. And again, you have a community behind it. Now this all really starts like looking like this perfect, like, circle of friends that we are able to like, hey, how do we make sure that we're carrying the right messaging outward? So congrats to that, man. That's really truly unique and definitely. Let me ask you now that you recently sent the case to space, right? Was
That's
Elon
right.
involved in this? Like, did you send it on his ship? And what's the madness behind it? Because I've been getting messages about this.
Absolutely. Well, Elon wasn't involved in it. However, we are trying to, claim the Guinness World Record for the highest blockchain transaction ever performed. We have thought of a way to make cases more interesting. And for us, the whole concept with this, let's say, activation was that we wanted to bring more awareness to, first of all, the phone itself, that Solana has this unique device and people can buy and use it. Secondly, the communities, and that you can unleash basically unlimited creativity in terms of the design. And then lastly, to just how do we make a phone case so interesting that people want to check it out? And what the reason why we want people to check it out is because this soulbound token aspect that I've mentioned. So whenever someone gets a case, they also get a soulbound token, and that's where the magic happens. But we can dive into that later. Let me stick to the space thing. So with this activation, I was laser focused on doing some Red Bull type marketing, something so out of this world that would reach all of Solana and even beyond. So when we thought about this, we figured the best way to do this would be to put a case on a working phone and literally sending it up into space. And while, imagining this insane view, having the blackness of space behind the phone, we figured that we could take it a step further and actually just perform the first Solana blockchain transaction up in space, which was an engineering masterpiece in itself. And I'm super happy to dive into just a little bit about the challenges and how we actually managed to complete it as well.
Yeah, and I think like I'm playing the video here so that everybody can watch and see that this is legit. This is real, right? We're not just making this up, right?
Yeah.
Dude, like there's a lot of production to this. Like this isn't something that I think like, you could just kind of like do you have to get like permits? Do you have to like I'm just like I'm trying to like put it all together of like how do you send something to space? Because all right, man, I was in New York City and I brought my drone. I didn't know that in New York City you could get like go to jail if you fly your drone, right? So
Oh,
like I'm a Florida man, right? Like man, put this drone up in
yeah.
the air and do whatever you want to do, right? And so I quickly learned that limitations in certain states, but yeah, how do you send something to space? I need the 411
Yeah.
of this, man.
Absolutely. So, as wild as it sounds, there is actually certain companies, or at least one which we have worked with, who are delivering the engineering part. And combined with that, we were trying to integrate Solana into this. Obviously, for a normal company, well, normal as they are sending stuff into space, but we also had to onboard them to basically Solana explain how a wallet works, how the transaction flow works, and how we can make this completed, this whole activation. So we worked together with Sent into Space. Some of the guys are currently featured in the video just now, which is playing. And they basically built a fully custom payload. Just imagine it as basically a box which held two of the phones. And with a balloon, which was filled with gas, we sent the whole thing up into space. Now, it was really crucial to only fill the balloon with enough gas, because if it was filled with slightly less gas, it wouldn't pop, and our phones might have dropped on a completely other continent, which obviously wouldn't have been fun to recover. So once we made sure that all of the calculations are correct and all of the engineering testing has been completed, we went to the field, and ourselves, my co-founder and myself, have just let this payload up, and it basically just flew up until a peak altitude, which was about 26 kilometers high. I'm not sure what that in miles, but it was just high enough to see the black curve of the space. And the whole stunt was programmed that whenever it reaches that peak altitude, the phone, which is going to be shown in a minute, would complete a transaction physically in the software wallet by doing a physical swipe on the phone. So that was the whole activation, and it didn't happen for the first try, but we got enough tries to make this movie of it.
I'm calling Jeff Bezos, Elon, Richard Brunson. Hey guys, any of you guys that are listening right now, going to space soon, let me know because I gotta break this Guinness World Record here of the highest blockchain transaction. Man, like love the creativity, love that the marketing itself, like could have been, let's just say, a marketing stunt, but it actually became a real cool marketing piece to speak about, right? And I think
Mm-hmm.
like that's the kind of things that we get to like experiment in Web3, because again, in Web2, man, the amount of channels that you would have to go through, legal departments and all this stuff to even get something like this approved, you probably would have like your idea would have died really, really quickly. And
Yeah.
I think here you are being able to take something from an idea to an execution, but that just goes to speak as well as the product itself that you guys are building, being able to take the idea to execution of being able to build a case again for a phone is so important. Let me kind of go into a couple things though. Here is like the case itself. You were mentioning a little bit about rewards, about tokens, about on-chain identity, like the community features. Break that down to us. Like what is it about Solid? And like let's just say this, like what if a competitor does come to the market, right? You know,
Mhm.
where is that going to be something where you guys stand out? Again, here comes the talk about the actual case itself, in the sense of the material that it's made from, right? I think that's something that's massive to talk about as well, like the durability behind it. So I'll let you kind of like break that down for us.
Yeah, I'm just shocked once again that I watched on the video that we actually have completed this. But focusing back on your question, let's break it down into two parts. First of all, the on-chain rewards, because I think that is super interesting. However, it's definitely a topic where we can always dive deeper. So I'll try to scratch the surface, reveal our initial vision for it and how we are trying to complete. And then if anyone wants later, I'm also happy to dive deeper into it. So as I mentioned, the whole flow is currently targeted towards core Solana users who are familiar with Solana, how the chain works, and are most likely engaging in some sort of on-chain activity. So we confidently or comfortably allow you to spend your USDC on a phone case, which you can get for your seeker. And in this same transaction, when you purchase a phone case, you get an NFT into your wallet. Now, the reason why this NFT is called soul-bound is because you cannot transfer it, and that serves so it identifies everyone, only their wallets obviously, who have purchased the case. Now, as we have talked about, there's multiple different editions, there are some artists and there are some communities who are just bringing their designs to life. The way this soulbound token is unique is that it is unique to each of the designs. So if there are 7 currently available cases, there are 7 types of soulbound token. And basically, Solana Mobile with Saga initially pioneered this field of offering a collective of users who are already really familiar with blockchain, all of the things DeFi and gaming and happening on there. And communities just started to give more perks, more rewards to these specific individuals, because it's much more likely that, you know, they are going to do something with those perks and rewards than if they would just generally spread it out in the ecosystem. So with our case, it's essentially the same base layer that we are targeting all of these phone holders, but the design and the unique soulbound token adds one more layer to it, because you can, you know, just uniquely select. Let's say we are on the gaming on Solana stream. You want to specifically highlight the Monkey DAO community. You can just very specifically with a click select the Monkey DAO trait soulbound token holders, and then you can give some, you know, exclusive streaming content or anything that can be gated by the blockchain technology. And this can be either rewards, it can be airdrop, it can be in a game, it can be even a unique skin or something that's tied to it. So for us, for someone who gets a case, the benefit is that they protect their phone, and on top of it, they might get some extra rewards, something that might be useful for them. For everyone else that is a business out there, it's beneficial because they can say, oh, these guys have Monkey DAO or Bonk. I want to specifically look into these people, see if they would be interested in my idea or my product. So it's something that combines audiences very efficiently with people looking to highlight their ideas or products and then just combine them.
Yeah, no, I think that, like, man, the way that you're able to describe of how you're able to connect with the community, but also reward the community through again through Solid. I mean, what a solid idea there, you know. And I think like when I'm thinking of this, it's more of like, I don't see this as a short term product, right? I mean, like this is again not something that, like, this. There's a longevity here, and I think that as development happens within Solana Mobile and the next phone and the next phone, like, you know, the idea of being able to build with Solid and keep carrying on through different cases, but at the end of the day, still be rewarded as a community member. like that's just massive, right? Like that's the power of Web3 in a way, and that I think like, man, like only if OtterBox and all these other like massive competitors are out there that don't reward their like community, their users, because like, man, I can't tell you, how many OtterBoxes I've been through, right? Like every time I upgrade my phone every single year, and then I have to get the new one, and the case is $54.99. Then I have to get the glass case on that, and that's another 50. Like next thing you know, I'm spending another $100 and something on just the protection of the phone, and there's no, and I'm loyal, but I have never gotten anything back for
Hmm.
my loyal. Whereas like the phone does give you some loyalty, right? Like there's a trade-in value to your phone, because if you trade it in for the new one, they'll give you an extra perk and all this stuff. But on the phone case side of it, it's like, yeah, man, they leave you out to dry. It's like, man, like we'll just take your money.
Yep.
Talk about extraction,
Yeah,
Um,
it's like super uncommon in traditional business to actually give back to users. It's like, and I was really sad to see this, but I'm pretty sure everyone experiences this if they take a deeper look. But it's actually like extracting, or it's like maximizing profit, which is nice. Like as a business, you should maximize profit, but on the other hand, that amount of profit might not be necessary, and it might unlock something more if you give back to the community, to the loyal users. But this is just simply underutilized. So now that we have this, technology as in Solana, and that we can uniquely identify each people, verify them on chain, and just provide this platform for rewarding or providing some perks, it's I think something that we must explore, and we are in the right place at the right time, and we should just experiment.
Yeah, no, I'm for it. I think this is the way that we all learn. This is the way that we all give back. But again, Web3 is still small, right? Like I think like one of
Mhm.
those things, like when you look at like how big the competitors are in the space, I mean, we're just a fraction of it. And I think it's that when I say that and I see that, like the biggest marketing power that we could have is working together as a community, working together as like founders, projects, uniting together and saying, hey, like let's combine together our both communities. Let's reward each other. Let's become marketing engines for what we're building, so that we are able to break through that, 1% that we need to break through in order to get to the bigger picture. Get into that bigger lake, pond, or ocean, whichever one that you want to use as a collab. Look, I think you've talked a lot about exactly Solid, the way that Solid is kind of operating and the way that it rewards. But I would love to hear more about like why like is it just mobile now? Like, do you see Solid being able to work with handheld devices within gaming that we're
Mhm.
seeing? Are you able to maybe like, what if a tablet comes? Like, I'm waiting for the first tablet too as well. Like, give me the first tablet, right? But I'm seeing hardware wallets. I'm seeing, a lot of things are being physical devices are being made on Solana right now. Is the idea to be able to expand out of here now that you have a proof of concept, proof of work here to show people that, hey man, this is real?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very great question, and one of the most common questions that we get asked is that when can people also get cases for their iPhones? Because also, as much as people in crypto especially support Solana Mobile, it's very hard to convince someone to switch their phone, which they have already been using, unless it's like damaged, or they just want to switch because it's too old now. So obviously, outside of Web3, there is a large potential in the traditional market, and the reason is what we have already talked about. Is imagine a massive company, let's say Otterbox, who isn't really, giving back anything. But what if we could tell to all of these people that you can get similar level ultimate protection for your phone? We are going to secure it, and at the same time, we are also going to provide these certain perks. And the beauty of that is, I believe we don't necessarily need to have like a white paper or explain under hours why is it good, because as soon as people know there is something extra which they haven't heard about it, they are themselves are going to be incentivized to explore it. And the beauty of that is that they are going to be more curious about blockchain. Okay, I can get certain rewards, I can get perks, but how do I do that? What's Solana? And then they are just simply going to get into it. So that's the traditional market. And as you said, in Web3, handheld devices and deepin, I believe, has been gaining significant popularity in the last year and year and a half, from gaming devices to hardware wallets to even, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff in deepin that's going down. And I think, again, the two unique aspects that we can bring to this is, first of all, this proof of concept that we have, or that we are already doing something with this technology, and we can bring that same thing to other devices. And also this the brand, the artists, and basically allowing any community to collaborate. And in the future, we can act as a platform, not even someone who's just directly issuing like products that they think is good for anyone who's using everyday hardware devices, but like more as a platform where all of the different entities can come together and build something cool.
Yeah, I think like when I hear you even say it even more, I think like, man, I'm really kind of bought into the vision and kind of how you guys are rolling this out. What do you think like would be a great message to send after with this with how you just ended this? What's a great message to send to entrepreneurs though building in Web3?
Mm.
Because man, like what you're just describing, a lot of it, you make it sound easy. And I'll tell you one thing, man. Web3 is not easy at all. It's a bumpy
No.
roller coaster. It's one that we don't have seatbelts or helmets, and sometimes the roller coaster goes upside down, and you just gotta like hold on to dear life. But what is it like that you have that you want to say to others, like as we are all strapped into this ride?
First of all, I highly encourage the entrepreneurial spirit in everyone, because worst case, you fail and then you retry. There is no such thing as failing completely, or I would word it in another way, that you shouldn't be afraid of failure. Like our humble phone salesman and leader, Tolly himself, is always saying to go fast and break shit. And I'm super in for that vision, because you need to try some stuff out for yourself, what you're confident in building, what you're actually good at, and then hopefully there's a combination of you're confidently good at something, and then just try it out, because worst case you will have to do another idea, and best case you're going to succeed. And other than that, I also encourage you to look for other builders, because a strong co-founder, a great team can only help accelerating together. And there's a lot of talent that is just walking around in Solana, and there's a lot of talent that's just coming into the ecosystem. So as we move forward in time, there's going to be more opportunities arising. So I really hope that these entrepreneurs are going to catch onto each thing, experiment, scale what works, just disregard what doesn't, and just move forward. And all of this collectively moves the whole space forward.
Nah, I think that you hit it on the money with that message of again, like being an entrepreneurial spirit inside. It's like that lion and being fierce. And I think that, with that said, there are a lot of hurdles and road bumps. And I think you're very much well describing it. What do you think, from a solid perspective, has been a hurdle that you guys have overcome? And I say this in the sense that, like, is it like shipping worldwide? Because that's like a massive, massive hurdle. Like, I remember shipping something to somebody in like Europe, and I was like, next time I'm just sending you the cash and buying it there, because I was like, it made no sense. It was like the same. I ended up paying more money in shipping, like tax and like import and all this stuff, and I was just like, oh my God, I was mind blown over like something so small. But what's been like a hurdle? Is it like that, or hardware logistics of like the sizing of being able to make sure it's the right size for the cell phone, right? I mean, I think like so many things
Yeah.
come to mind.
Yeah, those definitely are also going to be future hurdles. So, and basically acting as road bumps. But what I can speak more honestly about is from the beginning until we have basically launched the product and also did this unique space activation, it was actually hard to find true believers. I explained the same thing which I did now, and it was hard hard to convince people, or not even convince, just to get them to say their honest opinion and not be like, I don't know, it's something that might work, and that could act demotivating for you as a founder or for you as a team member, because you feel like there isn't enough people believing in your idea. But then again, another advice is to stay convicted, and at least until you try things out. And for us, trying things out basically meant that launching the phone cases themselves, doing unique product marketing such as the space stuff, collaborations, for example with Super Team, which has worked out awesomely. So there's the obvious road bumps. Especially, there's a saying that hardware is hard. It's definitely true, guys, believe me. But I in myself deeply have already acknowledged that, and it's not going to affect me as much as like when I spoke with people, especially in the early phases. I felt like, okay, I'm just gonna explain this idea and it's gonna be fire and everyone's gonna love it. And then it was like, okay, it's great. And I'm just standing here after 10 minutes of explanation that I just wished for more. So just hang in there, have conviction, and stay true to your goals.
Yeah, man. No, that's awesome to hear. And again, I love the messaging. I think being an entrepreneur in Web3 is very much like I said, a roller coaster. But I think it's very important to hear from others that like it hasn't been easy, right? Because I'll say this, man. I've been in the space for 5 years or so. Just solely working here Web3 full time. And there
Mhm.
are times that, man, it could help you. Like it'll question your sanity, right? And you'll be like, am I doing the right thing here? So I think it's important for us to be able to share those stories because look, man, the light at the end of the tunnel is here, right? Like, look at what you guys are building. Like, Seekers starting to get what we're talking about August. Like, it's going to be
Yeah.
start getting shipped, and like, man, we're so close. And it's like, okay, look, you're shipping for what you're building. How does that work, and when will that start? Right?
Yeah, we are definitely aiming to ship basically the first batch. So there's a lot of people who've ordered so far, and before we drop like new additions, we want to first cater to these people and are aiming to ship them just before Seeker phones. Simply because people then can protect their devices from the get-go. And when it comes to second batches, this method of shipping the first batch also helps us because it allows some time for feedback. We can refine the designs. We can also refine the physical build up of the cases. In terms of shipping for the first batch, if you have ordered so far, we're definitely looking to cater that to you as soon as possible, just before the Seeker. There's also a unique thing which we have been facing, and now that we are talking about difficulties, I think it's a time to talk about that as well, just briefly. Is that it's summertime, and I know it's Solana summer, but more people are on vacation. They are chilling with their family, so they are definitely not super encouraged to spend their valuable USDC now on a product rather than a vacation. So when it comes to us as someone who's looking to drop new additions for the people who have been requesting it, we are leaning more on August and September when it comes to this. So right now it's like making sure we deliver on everything we have promised so far, and then moving on to the next thing.
Tell me, tell me what is your favorite case out of all of this?
Oh no, I have to choose. I'm gonna make some people biased, but if I'm completely honest, from an artistic perspective, one of my favorites is the King Bonk one. Like at first, I'll be honest, I didn't like it because I thought it was too crazy, and I felt like the more minimalistic and elegant approach is going to look good. But yeah, the King Bonk one so far.
I'm gonna ask you a $1 million question here, man. You are on the Solana gaming space, right? And 3.3 billion mobile gamers worldwide. Mobile. Did you hear that? 3.3 billion, Benny?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
not one freaking gaming case, man. Not one gaming Solana gaming case. Hey Benny, I'm taking this flight, man. I'm booking this flight because I'm gonna go into the production stage, whoever's doing it, and we're making a Solana gaming case. Because man, everybody's gonna be gaming on the new Seeker. There's an unreal dApp store there, and man, we need it. We need our case, man. We need to
Yeah.
feel the love.
Yeah, I mean that's super true. It's again an untapped potential for all of these gaming communities and the games themselves. We all know how the in-game skins and inventory items can, be extremely popular and also sell for insane amounts. So it would only make sense to bring these to life in a physical form, especially on such a unique accessory, that a case that's going to fit on the Seeker, which is just coming out. So when it comes to next patches, which I've been talking about, we definitely should talk and just bring something to life.
Hey man, this is live. This is recorded. I'm gonna clip it. I'm gonna make sure that hey, I'm gonna send it out. I'm gonna post. I'm gonna do it all, and we're gonna get the whole gaming community behind. Benny,
Say
man,
less.
give us the plug. Where do we find you? Where do we find Solid? How do we get involved? Where should we join to make sure we have the notifications on for what you're all building?
Absolutely. So it's super simple, and I'm going to make a shirt for my stuff. It's solid.store. Very simple. You can find the cases there. Our Twitter is solid_store. But I'm pretty sure if you just search Solid, hopefully it should come up now, at least after the space stuff. And when it comes to, finding us, I'm a very big fan of meeting collectors, or, some people who are just interested or saw the product in real life. So as I've said, I'm going to be on this Apex Budapest conference, which is happening next Saturday. But other than that, if there's any in real life event, I think you can be sure that we are going to be there, be present, hear from you, hear your suggestions. If you want some gaming cases, and then we can bring that to life as well.
Well, I see those commercials you're shooting for Budapest. You're our future model for Europe. I will represent the U.S. side of it. You'll be the European model for us. Benny, man, this has been a solid space. This has been a solid talk. Definitely need my own solid case after this. And I appreciate you coming on. I'm excited for everything you guys are building. Big fan, big fan of what you guys are doing here in the space. I think it's goes without saying. Like, look, we wanted to bring you guys on so that we could talk about what you guys are building and showcase to everybody else within the community that's watching, like why Solid and why it makes sense to be able to partner and work with you, and why everybody should go buy a phone case today, right? So, Benny,
Yeah.
thanks again, man. It's been awesome to talk. Thanks again for coming on, and we're gonna have to run this back in Abu Dhabi. What do you think?
I'm all in for it, Jorge. Thank you so much for hosting it. It's been an awesome time. It's been a pleasure to talk about, and stay solid, everyone.
There you go. Peace out, everyone. Thank you for that.
Bye.